Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Nichel Anderson, and this is my podcast, Surviving Your Journey Towards Success. This will be episode 19, 2018. So let's go ahead and get started. All right. So in this day, I am thankful to the prime creator of all things that I give thanks for this blessing and opportunity that I will use it for the greater good. So welcome my survivors of the journey to my podcast that aims to inspire and motivate for you to continue to have joy, peace of mind, and to sustain your success. Thank you again for joining me today. Today's topic deals with learn from prestige leadership. Now, I did a podcast a while back talking about what is prestige leadership. When I did other episodes thereafter, I kind of also mentioned prestige leadership and so forth, the difference of that. I think it was the episode when I named it Management Needs to Go Down with the Ship, meaning that management needs to have a characteristic in the sense that they take responsibility, they evaluate things, and they move forward instead of blaming everybody and don't want to look at the failures. They keep repeating the same thing that produces the toxicity. So in today's episode, I want to focus on how you can learn from prestige, how you can learn from prestige leadership that does the things that leadership needs to do, and that you can you can learn from that, and then you implement it in your leadership role, depending on if it's either in a corporate environment or maybe you're part of a type of group and you're the team lead or what have you, whatever type of authority in the sense that you have to lead other people. You should understand in this regard that I'm focusing on that you can learn a lot from those that got it. And I was blessed enough to be able to see what prestige leadership, what that entails. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So pretty much the main point that I want you to understand today in my episode is that prestige leadership has the ability to communicate well. If you think about the ones that you were impressed with, that they were able to use the right words, okay, the right tone, okay, let me just really focus on that right now. The right tone, meaning they know when to emphasize the intonation of a certain word or phrase to get their point across, not in a disrespectful way, not in a way that takes away what you are worth. I like to continue to hone on that everybody has to define their worth. Prestige leadership don't take that away. Okay? They acknowledge it and they give you the respect, especially if you're respecting them back. And they put the responsibility to make sure that you are representing your worth of being part of the team. So the important point, what I want to hone on and in this particular part of my segment is that when we learn prestige leadership, number one thing you need to see and to learn from and to watch, and then you implement that in your own leadership role, is the way they communicate. It's the tone. It's the method. It's the consistency. I remember it was a senior VP. He was always consistent in his tone, meaning his voice didn't raise where it shouldn't raise and increase. And you're like, okay, what's going on? Okay, everybody's stressed now. Even when it was bad news and maybe we didn't meet the target, he was always in the right tone. He gave excellent communication in the sense of eye contact. He looked, you know what I mean? Maybe not at every single body, because it was a huge department, but he looked at enough people. Eye contact. I have to say I was one of them. That made you feel that you were important. Again, that's actually going back to defining your worth. All right? Acknowledging that you do matter That's what you have to take away from that particular person that you can name, that you can say that was prestige leadership. That's what you got to take away, communication. The second important point that I want to say is that what you can learn from prestige leadership, and it's in my book, the second chapter deals with that, is interpersonal skills. It's how they connect with people from different backgrounds, okay? The reason why most of them get up to that level is they know how to connect, not necessarily on a personal, but on a professional, but they can merge it, like putting the ingredients to bake a cake. They know the right amounts, for that person or for that group, and they know the right temperature, how they can make something out of that in the sense of you're baking something. So you have to review and remember or take notice of those that are able to communicate, of course, number one, like I mentioned earlier, but to be able to get along enough that the project get done, because that's basically when I do my project, that's really what I care about at the end of the day. Can we work together enough that we're focusing on the main objective, and that's the project? And so with projects, you have different personalities, different backgrounds. They have different goals and different expectations. And the leader, the prestige leader, understands that. They nurture it in a sense that maybe we can't do it what Sally wanted or what Bob wanted. Sally wanted A and Bob wanted B, but we're going to get together and get to C, because C is what I have to answer for my senior ups. You see what I mean? And so they're able to be able to address everybody expectations with builds that strong interpersonal skills. That's the takeaway of the important point that I want to emphasize. Communication, strong interpersonal skills. The other thing is to watch for when you see a leader that you want to, in a sense, be just as that one. The skill set that they have is that they learn. Oh my gosh, the best management that I was under is that they know the job. They did their homework. Just think about it. Isn't it great when you're sitting down talking to somebody, you've been in this for so long, and then the other person, they're talking, especially if it's a manager level, if they can break it down in a different way and you never really thought of that, and then they tell you something that you thought you knew everything, and they come back and you can tell they did their homework. It is such, because you know what that makes you feel? It makes you feel safe. It makes you feel connected. It makes you feel that doing all this work and somebody care enough to also see a better way, and they have the authority to do it, right? To know their job, to have the knowledge, and they continue to learn, and they're open to learn your way. I like that this one manager, oh, she was awesome. Like I said, I didn't have many. Maybe because I had to go through all the bad ones to be able to get to the point to write that book so I could help people that's in it, right? But the ones that I did, I'll never forget them. And she was awesome because I remember when we had this meeting and I'm trying to get to this objective, and I knew that I had to do my homework, and she was good with it, that she acknowledged, oh, okay, I see it your way. She was open to see it in a different way, even though she already did her research, even though she'd been in this business for a long time. She was open to see it another way. Plus, she also broke it down and showed me that she did her research and she knew the business, the objective. So that was just awesome. It was another way to connect, and it showed me that as a leader, you got to be in the know. You got to be in the know. And that means, you have to be abreast in getting different business type information emailed you, mailed to you, or social media, whatever it takes, you got to be in the know. That's prestige leadership. Who want to be able to go to a leader and they don't have all the answers? Most of the time or all the time, they assign someone else to be able to answer it. You should be able to go to that person and they should be able to break that down and come with a resolution. And if they don't know, they have the prestige way. The prestige way to say, let me get back to you now. Let me double check this and that and get you the answer that you deserve. Oh, whew, that's prestige leadership right there. Okay, you're dealing with a professional. All right, so let's focus on the wisdom, the takeaway. Prestige leadership and what you can learn from that helps you to get on a path that reduces the stress of not knowing how to move forward in our career. So even if you think that you might never be in a leadership role, if that's what you just, I really don't feel like, I don't really think, one day it's going to be somewhere where you're going to have to stand up front and everybody going to have to follow you. And you're going to remember the times where when you observe, because that's basically what I'm telling you today. It's important for you to watch and identify those that have good leadership and be able to implement that in your own way, in your own life, because that's going to help you. And that's what helped me when I did the transition from my writing and started in the theatrical part or what have you. And that's just, you can say it's my hobby, whatever, but it's my passion too and my purpose. And I enjoy doing that, right? In the sense of my writing and creating in the different medium that people can enjoy. It was basically my years in corporate America and how I've been through these different managers and how they process things and how they move forward. I learned from them, and that's why I'm teaching you. It's a good thing to do. So when you see a good leader, and maybe it's not in your company, maybe it's in a different environment that you're in, and you see that and you like it, because at the end of the day, the barometer of prestige leadership is that they get the job done, and the people that got them there, or the team, for the most part, supports them, and people are not dropping off and quitting, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that means they have that number two that I mentioned prior, good interpersonal skills. People want to be around them. They feel encouraged. They feel great. And they feel that their worth is being valued. That's the wisdom that I wanted to take away. And so some strategies that I can hone on for you to be able to do that, of course, take notes, but also to pay attention to the pattern of the behaviors of how they interchange with different groups. That's key, because you can know a lot, right? You can think you communicate well, but to put both of those together like a sandwich is the middle, is the interpersonal skills. That's the key, right? Nobody don't want to be underneath a leader that doesn't respect them, right? And doesn't give them their value of worth, that what they are contributing to the team matters. So you have to learn that. And some people just have a good skill set with it. They're born with it. Others do not. And then that's how their teams break up and they don't get to where they're at. And they scratching their head and they don't want it because they got the communication and they got this, but they don't got that. So you have to really pay attention in the sense of how they maneuver. And when I talk about that, prestige leadership is not saying the things to make the other person happy. They're saying the things that they know that is needed and that is true towards the other person or that group to get to the objective. And it kind of hones on to the knowledge. Not only you got to know the business as you observing prestige leadership and somebody that's demonstrating that, but you also got to get to the point of knowing people. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is about. That's what leadership is. You leading people. People have to feel motivated, encouraged, valued to follow a leader. And so for me personally, I can vouch for that it wasn't just one. It was a few of them. And each one of those taught me different things. How they did those three earlier takeaways that I mentioned already, important points, and I learned from that. So that's what I'm saying. So let's talk about next, your task to Dusk to Dawn as we wrap this up. Your goal is to now be more observant. Okay, identify the leaders that you can say, you know what, he or she, that's prestige leadership. Take the time to look at the three areas that I mentioned. Okay, communication, interpersonal skills, right, knowledge, right? All of that fits in the sense of identifying that and learning from prestige leadership. So now be more observant. And that could be any other way that you want to take notes, or that could just be a mental journal. For me, it was a mental journal. I never forget it because it was amazing. I could still remember some of the moments, and I look back and I was like, wow, that I was blessed enough to be able to be in the present, in the sense that someone took their job or took their leader role seriously, and they did it in a positive way, and things got done. So that's basically your task to dusk to dawn. So your motivational takeaway, we wrap this up, is that be proactive in learning from prestige leadership that deliver the outcome that you desire, and being more proficient and more better in what you aim to accomplish in your career or personal life. That's basically what I'm trying to teach you today. I hope that you get the message. And now going forward, just take a different approach to when you see it. You definitely learn from it. And if you felt that you have seen it and you took this and that, share that with someone else. And it never hurts to continue to perfect it, right? Everybody got a different way to cover those 3 areas that I mentioned, but it doesn't hurt. All right. So thank you so much for joining me today. Joining me today in my podcast show, Surviving Your Journey Towards Success. I also want to go over a few things just so we can continue to stay in contact. The first thing is that, just to let you know, I do provide career consultation. It's offering for the first 30 minutes is free. After that, I do have a rate. It do adjust depending on your actual need. But if it's an emergency, just go ahead and you can request an initial consultation, which is free, of course. You can contact me by my email, which is info@nichelanderson.com. Now, also, I do have like a 1-800 free numbers if you're calling like outside of the United States. But mainly that is for when I do my free webinars, okay? So I'm not connected to the webinar call-in number unless I'm doing a free event, and I usually advertise that or promote that, I should say, weeks in advance. So if I'm not promoting that I'm doing a free webinar, then those numbers are not being used. I'm not tied to that. Now, I might consider to have a 1-800 number, but for the most part right now it's just going to be my email address. So if you have any questions or concern, you can definitely go ahead and reach out to me by my email address. Now, I also want to let you know that I do provide business courses and self-improvement courses as well, that overall deals with strategy and, of course, motivating you so you can keep your joy or get your joy and mental peace that leads you to your success while you're on your journey. Now, those courses are normally available in 1 through mid-late spring of the year, and then again in the fall. I will usually go ahead and post that on the home page of my official website, nichelanderson.com. If you have any questions or trying to figure out exactly how to sign up for the courses, go ahead and drop me an email, info@nichelanderson.com, and I will gladly respond back to you personally to answer any of your questions regarding the courses that you're thinking of signing up for. And those courses again are usually around about 2 or 3 that I will release a year, and again it's doing 2 times a year, the spring and the fall. In the future I might do summer courses that I am releasing as well. And then finally, I just want to do a special call out. I really want to connect with the people that are following me. And to do that, I definitely would love to be able to send out a newsletter. So with that, of course, you have to sign up by providing your email address. So you should see a link in the bottom of this description. Pretty much on every episode, you will find a link to sign up. Now, it will either say, sign up here for Nichel E-List Tips newsletter. You'll click that. It'll take you to a page that is secured for you to go ahead and type in your email address, and then I will get that and see that you are to be included. It will not be spam. I will not hound you with 4 or 5 newsletters every day or other emails sent to you, because pretty much I have a busy schedule and I want to make sure that I'm delivering the quality content that you will be most interested in. Now, also you can visit my website my official website, Nichel Anderson, and you can click where it says contact, and you will see it gives you that option to sign up to my newsletter. And again, that website direct link will be in this description, which is basically nichelanderson.com/sign-up-to-newsletter. But again, I will have all of that in the description. So don't forget to do that. In a sense, just if you want to stay connected with me to get some updates or what have you, new information, special events that I'm doing, and stay connected with me, join my newsletter. I'm really trying to get that to a point that I can be able to quickly update the people that is following me more quicker than my regular releases of my episodes or what have you, my podcast or any other special projects that I'm doing. Now, also don't forget to subscribe to my podcast here, which is nichel7.podbean.com, and you can connect with that on iTunes. I am on iTunes, and you can do that right on my podcast homepage here at Podbean or at the Apple Store. I'm also on Google Play and, of course, any other type of directories that you can be able to find. I am learning that people are actually adding this podcast and my other podcast show to the directories as well. All right, so don't forget to follow me on social media. My official website is nichelanderson.com, as I mentioned earlier. Please follow me on Twitter. Now I'm very active on Twitter. Usually I will post new thing, not a lot, but at any rate I am, drop some motivational quotes. I do that on Twitter, and that Twitter page is twitter.com/Nichel Anderson. I also have a Facebook page, that is facebook.com/Nichel Anderson fan page. So also you can find this show notes. My show notes will be listed on the home page here on Podbean. You will see that to the left. You will click that and it will give you future shows that are to be released to give you a heads up of what's coming next. Also, I want to go ahead and let you know that you can purchase my Corporate America book, Surviving Your Journey to Success. It is available on Amazon or any other bookstore that you might be interested in purchasing through. So just to recap and to wrap this up, my podcasts are released every Monday by 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And then guest interviews, that when I do have them, I will pre-announce that of who will be the guests, as well as you can apply to be a guest by filling out the guest application form. You will find that on the left side of the menu on my homepage here at Podbean. Okay, you just go to nichelanderson7.podbean.com and you will see a direct link to that guest speaker application. You will fill that out. It normally takes me 48 to 72 hours or less to review that, and then if I see if it's a good fit, then I will respond in that sense, or let you know where we're at in that process. So consider that. If you have any questions, I want to say during my podcast, I also want to encourage you to go ahead and just send me an email, and I can answer that on my next episode. So what have you, and I definitely will respond back that I got it. Okay, so just to kind of recap about my podcast here, how it releases new content every Monday by 10 a.m. Also share with you that my podcasts here now have started offering the ability to get my premium content from my other podcast show, Nichel Anderson Short Stories and Beyond, that patron program where you have access to the full short stories, because I love writing stories. It's one of my favorite things to do, and plus it's coming from my passion and my purpose of writing and motivating through my writing. So at any rate, go ahead and check that out. So how to get to that is basically on the left side of the menu at nichelanderson7.podbean.com. You will see that ability where it says you will see premium content plans, and from there you'll click on that and it will list the different options that you can sign up for. I am providing a few days of a free trial, so you can sign up that way and you will get the access to the content before you commit to actually subscribe. So it's a great way to get this extra premium content from my other podcast show, all in one little place here at my podcast at Surviving Your Journey Choice Success. So go ahead and try that out. And then if you really like it, you can even consider going to my Patreon page. That's patreon.com, where you actually get rewards for joining through that portal. All right, so just go ahead and consider that. So this concludes my podcast show today. I hope you enjoyed this broadcast. Please, again, follow me on social media. Again, my website, NichelAnderson.com. I'm on Twitter, twitter.com/Nichel Anderson, and facebook.com/Nichel Anderson fan page. So I want to go ahead and leave you with my motivational takeaway for you. Continue for your encouragement, and that is, be you that strengthens and inspires your ability to be strong in your journey endeavor. It's a good thing towards your mental peace and joy, always to your success.